In the past, we have done different Microsoft Teams integrations. One of them was enabling you um, to include the 3D models within the Teams chat. I'll show you that right away. Or this is a new feature where you can share the content right from Teams. Sorry, right from Lifeliqe into your Teams. So I click on Microsoft Teams. Now I'm asked to include the name of my chat, the name of my group. So I know it's called Earth and Space Science, and if it really exists, you should be able to find it easily once you start typing. So Earth and Space Science, and I want my students. I'm asking my students. It's an Earth and Space Science. It's not really life science. So I want to ask them how digesting of a cow can influence, let's say, carbon dioxide emissions. You know, just to keep it on the topic of Earth and Space Science. Explore the model and so on, compare and stuff like that. I tap on share and I go to Teams to see what, you know, how the content, what the content looks like there. So you see, it send that link to that content to my Earth and Space Science grade 7 chat. You see my assignment, or you know, my exercise for my students, and clicking on the model brings me to Lifeliqe, or brings my students to Lifeliqe, where they can explore the 3D content and respond to my question. Now, here once again, you can see the difference between the student access, you know, possibility of generating the student access code and sharing to Teams, because I can click on home page and I can go on and I can explore some other types of content, including related. Every 3D model in Lifeliqe has related right here, and there I can your students can kind of explore more on the topic. With the student access code, they don't have the option, as I said, to move anywhere else than just the 3D model. So related or not there. So sharing the content through Microsoft Teams enables them to go farther and to you know, do what they can normally do in the Lifeliqe app, to create their own content, which is take screenshots of the models and send them to you as a teacher as a part of the assignment within Teams or through learning management system, or the way you are used to work. To make it easy for you and I can actually download the images or send them to Google Drive. So let me do that. I want to save them for later, and so on. But let me move back to the Teams where I shared that content. So I shared that content right from Lifeliqe. So as I said, I chose that group. I chose the classroom chat, and I send the content right from Lifeliqe. The other way around, and that's the feature that I introduced, I think 2 webinars ago, after we introduced that, was that you can actually include Lifeliqe content right in the chat without need to go in the app. That's something different right now. So you do it by clicking on the Lifeliqe icon right here. And I can browse through the Lifeliqe content right here. Explore, and so on, so on. I include the content in the team. And then I can, my students can open Lifeliqe in different ways. They can open it in the web app. They can open it in AR in the web app. I can show you how that works right away. Or they can open it in Windows app, which is actually the older native version of the Windows 10 Lifeliqe app. So you see the difference between these 2 integrations in Teams. This is the newer one, sending the models, links to models from the Lifeliqe app to Teams. This enables you to browse through Lifeliqe content within Teams without you needing to open the 3D model in the app and sending it to Teams. So this could be a bit quicker, but it really depends on your workflow. Sometimes you're in the Lifeliqe app and you're exploring the content, and you're sharing it to Teams. Sometimes you want to stay in your classroom chat and simply add the new content right from here. And just to summarize once again, what you can do there is, again, you've got the open model, you've got the share possibility. You can of course take screenshots, and you can send them to your Google Drive or download the images. And we're working also on Open Drive for you, for those of you who use Office 365. You can simply copy the link to that 3D model and share it with your students. That's also, of course, the thing that you've got here available. But you can also simply send the link to the 3D model to your Google Classroom. Newly, that's what I showed now, to your Microsoft Teams chat, which is here. And something that I shared before, generate a student access to simply go in that model without logging in. If you do this, with Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams, students need to have their accounts. They need to create their accounts. As I shared, it's super easy, just within a few seconds. But sometimes it's not really the point, because sometimes your students don't have their own email addresses. Sometimes it's simply, the tech setup of your school or district does not work that way, and it's you, teacher, who owns the license and simply shares the content based on that license to your students. So if you don't want your students to have their own accounts in Lifeliqe, you simply generate student access, and you share the models with your students without login. On the other way around, if your students don't have their account, they cannot freely move in the app and use other content without you sharing it with them. So of course it has its positive, also negative pros and cons. If you needed to clarify some of the differences between different ways of sharing the content, just let me know.